you around.
Hello friends, it's Allison. I hope you're having a super happy and cozy day so far. I am so excited for this video because I am such a coffee lover. I absolutely love putting my hands around a cozy mug and just feeling the warmth, especially this time of year when the weather is cooling down. And there's so many fall specialty drinks that I just adore, like pumpkin spice lattes, maple coffee, and cinnamon, and just all those yummy flavors. So today we are going to create 3 different fall specialty beverage coffees in the comfort of our own home, and we're going to use simple ingredients so they're a lot healthier and more natural than the ones you get from popular coffee chains. So I love that. Plus they're super inexpensive to make, which is incredible because I love buying a pumpkin spice latte, but I'm not trying to spend $5 a day on coffee drinks, but I still want to get in the spirit by drinking them. So this just solves all of our problems, and I really hope you enjoy. First and foremost, we are going to start with the most iconic fall beverage, and that is a pumpkin spiced latte. So for this recipe, you'll need 8 ounces of brewed coffee or 1 to 2 shots of espresso, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup or sweetener of your choice, half a cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree, half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and half a teaspoon of vanilla, and finally a sprinkle of cinnamon. So the first thing you're gonna do is brew your coffee. So I actually used this pumpkin spice coffee blend from Trader Joe's, and I just made 8 ounces of it. So I used my pour over to make it, but you can use whatever you have to brew your coffee. I poured in my milk into a small glass, and I added in my pumpkin pie puree, and then I stirred it up a bit and heated up for about 45 seconds, and then I poured in my vanilla extract and gave that a little stir. I love the color of this milk. You can tell it is pumpkin flavored, and the pumpkin comes in nice and strong. And then I added a teaspoon of maple syrup to make it a little sweeter, and my pumpkin pie seasoning. If you don't have pumpkin pie seasoning, you can actually create it with cinnamon, nutmeg, ground cloves, and ground ginger, I believe, but you can look up easy recipes on Pinterest or just on Google. And so I poured my coffee that I brewed into a cup, and then I poured in my milk into my frother. I have this Capresso frother, but you can use whatever you have. Handheld frothers work wonderfully, so you can just use what you're working with. And my milk ended up not being super frothy, but it was still delicious and super yummy. And to top it off, I just sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon and added a little cinnamon stick for some extra flavor. And ta-da, that's it. Now we have our maple sea salt latte, and guys, this is my favorite. It is so incredibly delicious. It also is the easiest one to make, which is a plus. So for this one, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 cup of coffee or 2 shots of espresso, 10 ounces of milk of your choice, and half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, but I kind of just eyeballed this, and you can do the same. So first things first, I added about half a tablespoon of my maple syrup to the bottom of my mug. You can add a little more too if you want it to be extra sweet. And then I just added in some sea salt, and I poured my milk into my frother once again. And the real key here is to add some extra maple syrup and sea salt to your frother so that your milk, your latte milk at the top, has that nice sweet and salty flavor as well, because that'll be the first thing that touches your lips. So then I just poured over my coffee, which I made in my French press, over my maple syrup and sea salt, And then I poured in the frothy milk, and that's it. I also drizzled some more maple syrup to make it even sweeter, and it is so incredibly delicious. I love the sweet and salty and yin and yang of it all, and I could drink this every single day. Finally, we have our cinnamon sugar latte. So for this one, you'll need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon dolce syrup, which I actually showed you how to make, and then 2 ounces of espresso or strong coffee, 1 cup of strong coffee, and then 1/4 a cup brown sugar, 1/4 a cup white sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 6 ounces of milk. So to make my syrup, I added 1/2 cup of water, and I made a lot, which you can do as well and just save it for multiple glasses of coffee. And then I added my sugars, and then I mixed it together and added my cinnamon. And if you love cinnamon like I do, you can add a bit extra. I always go a little heavy on the cinnamon because it's so delicious to me. And then you just stir that up, and then you pour it into a saucepan, and then you're going to heat it up on medium-low heat for about 20 minutes. And then I went ahead and brewed my coffee. So I actually made this into an iced coffee, but of course you could make it into a hot beverage. Either way, it does take a little longer to make the iced coffee if you are brewing your own coffee, because of course you have to cool it down so it doesn't melt all of your ice. But I had the time, so that's what I did. I would love to know how you guys make your coffee at home. So whether you use your Keurig or French press or pour over or just a regular coffee maker, I would definitely be interested to know what the most popular way to make your coffee is, so comment it down below. Once my French press was all brewed, I poured it into my cute fall mug. And I actually stuck it into the fridge so it could cool down since I was making my iced coffee. And then I took my syrup off of the stove and just added it into a little bowl. And later on, I just put it in a little jar to store it. And I also added a little vanilla extract to my syrup as well. Once my coffee cooled down, I poured it over ice and added a few teaspoons of the syrup. And again, just depending on your preference, you can add as many scoops of syrup as you would like. And then finally, I just poured over some milk. I actually didn't want it to be too milky, so I just added a little tiny bit, but again, whatever you like, you can customize this. And voila, that's it. It's as simple as that. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your autumn season, and I'll see you soon. Bye!